Your basement is not a watertight bunker. Structurally speaking, it is a concrete boat buried in the dirt. When it rains heavily, the soil surrounding your home becomes entirely saturated, and the only thing keeping your basement from sinking is a delicate balance of exterior drainage and a mechanical sump pump. When that system fails, you don't just get a puddle, you get an indoor swimming pool. Today, we are breaking down the terrifying physics of basement flooding, why a roll of waterproof tape will never save your foundation, and exactly what you must do to survive a sump pump failure before the water destroys your home. Basement flooding is rarely a mystery, it is the mathematical result of a drainage failure. Perhaps a severe storm knocked out your neighborhood's power grid, and your primary sump pump has gone dead silent while the groundwater steadily rises. Maybe you look at your basement window wells and realize they are no longer letting in light, they are filled to the brim like muddy aquariums, threatening to shatter the glass under the pressure. Or perhaps there is no standing water yet, but you notice dark, weeping stains actively seeping through the hairline cracks in your poured concrete or cinder block walls. You might step onto the carpet in your finished lower level and hear a squish, realizing the water is coming up from underneath the slab. Whether it is a failed pump, an overflowing window well, or a cracked foundation wall, the underlying enemy is exactly the same. Your home is losing a war against thousands of pounds of invisible groundwater. When water is rapidly entering your basement, your instinct is to rush downstairs to save your belongings. Stop. A flooded basement is a lethal electrocution hazard. Your first immediate action must be to kill the power to the basement from your main breaker panel upstairs. Do not step into standing water if submerged extension cords, power strips, or baseboard heaters are present. Once the power is isolated, and only if it is safe, get your high-value items off the floor. If your sump pump is simply overwhelmed but still has power, do not attempt to open the pit or mess with the float switch while standing in the water. If the water is coming from an overflowing window well, your emergency action takes place outside. Grab a shovel, run outside in the rain, and aggressively dig a trench to divert the pooling surface water away from the window frame. Your immediate goal is triage. Stop the external water source if possible, eliminate the electrical threat, and prepare for extraction. To understand why your basement is flooding, you must understand a principle called hydrostatic pressure. Water is incredibly heavy. It weighs 62.4 pounds per cubic foot. During a heavy rainstorm, the soil surrounding your foundation absorbs thousands of gallons of water. This creates massive hydraulic weight that presses directly against your basement walls and pushes up against the concrete floor slab. Concrete is not waterproof, it is a rigid, porous sponge. Under extreme hydrostatic pressure, the water is literally forced through the microscopic pores of the concrete. This is why a sump pump exists. Your home has a perimeter drain, often called a weeping tile, buried at the footing of the foundation. It collects this pressurized groundwater and channels it into the sump pit. The pump then ejects it away from the house, artificially relieving the hydrostatic pressure. When the pump fails due to a power outage, a jammed float switch, or a burned-out motor, the pressure instantly rebuilds. The water has nowhere to go but up, breaching the pit, cracking the floor slab, and pouring through the walls. You are not just fighting a leak, you are fighting the entire water table of your neighborhood. Because homeowners misunderstand the sheer force of hydrostatic pressure, their DIY solutions are financially disastrous. Mistake number 1. Flex seal and waterproof tape. When homeowners see water weeping from a foundation crack, they often try to spray rubberized sealant or apply waterproof tape over it. This is physically useless. You cannot hold back thousands of pounds of hydrostatic pressure with a piece of tape. The water will simply bypass the adhesive or push the tape right off the wall. Mistake number 2. The short discharge pipe. Many homeowners have a perfectly functioning sump pump, but the discharge pipe outside dumps the water only 2 feet from the foundation. The water simply soaks right back into the soil, travels down the foundation wall, and re-enters the sump pit. The pump runs continuously in a closed loop until the motor burns out and the basement floods. Mistake number 3. Ignoring the gutters. The root cause of almost all basement flooding starts at the roof. If your gutters are clogged or your downspouts do not extend at least 5 feet away from the house, every drop of rain hitting your roof is being dumped directly onto your foundation, artificially creating the exact hydrostatic pressure that destroys your basement. Basement water intrusion escalates through a severity ladder that dictates your immediate structural risk. Level 1 is seepage and dampness. The walls feel clammy, white efflorescence powder appears on the concrete, and the room smells musty. The pressure is high, but the concrete is holding. Level 2 is active intrusion. Water is weeping through visible cracks, or window wells are slowly overflowing. You have active puddles forming, requiring wet vacuums and dehumidification. Level 3 is sump failure/flooding. The pump is dead, and the water table is actively rising inside the living space. Finished drywall is ruined, carpet is saturated, and heavy extraction is mandatory. Level 4 is structural compromise. The hydrostatic pressure has overwhelmed the foundation. Cinder block walls begin to physically bow inward, or massive horizontal cracks appear. The structural integrity of the entire house is now in severe, catastrophic jeopardy. The financial consequence of basement water is unforgiving. If you catch poor exterior drainage early, extending a downspout or cleaning a gutter costs you $20. But if you ignore the weeping walls until the sump pump fails and the basement floods, the math becomes violent. Tearing out a finished basement, removing the soaked drywall, the saturated carpet padding, and running industrial dehumidifiers to prevent toxic black mold will cost between $5,000 and $15,000. If the hydrostatic pressure physically cracks the foundation or causes the walls to bow, the repair requires heavy excavators to dig up the exterior of your home, waterproof the outside, and install a new interior French drain system. That is a $20,000 to $40,000 construction nightmare that standard homeowners insurance routinely denies under the earth movement or groundwater seepage exclusions. When your basement floods, you do not need a shop vac, you need industrial triage. When independent restoration professionals arrive, they bring high-volume, gas-powered extraction units that can pump thousands of gallons of water out of your basement in minutes, bypassing your home's electrical grid entirely. They don't just guess if the walls are dry. They use thermal imaging cameras to look inside the hollow cells of cinder block foundations to ensure water isn't trapped inside the structure. They execute controlled flood cuts on your drywall, aggressively dry the wooden wall studs, and apply commercial-grade antimicrobials to ensure black mold does not colonize your lower level. Finally, they provide the exact documentation required to fight for your insurance payout. If your sump pump is overflowing, if water is weeping through your foundation walls, or if your window wells look like fish tanks, the structural integrity of your home is under attack. Do not try to tape over the cracks, and do not wade into electrified water. You need heavy extraction and professional mitigation immediately. Call the number on your screen right now, or click the link in the description below to request a free local estimate at Emergency Damage Pros in under 60 seconds. We will instantly connect you with vetted, independent restoration experts in your exact zip code who can safely extract the water, stabilize the foundation, and save your home from a massive financial disaster. Act fast and protect your property today.